When I first heard this presentation, from the moment that you're separated from your friends until you're reunited, quite a bit of time goes by. How long were you alone and not knowing what had happened to your friends?
Yeah, I found out pretty soon after I escaped, around 20 minutes after that, two of my other buddies were okay because we got a hold of each other through phones pretty quickly. But the last one, Bob, it took over 2 hours to get a hold of him because he had lost his phone in the chaos. So those were two, yeah, very intense hours because, yeah, we all thought, well, the odds that he died are pretty high. So when we found out that he was alive, yeah, that was an intense moment. But those were, yeah, the longest hours of my life. Those two were.
Of your friends who were with you, have any of them, have they continued down a more negative path, or have they turned their lives around also?
I think I'm the one who needed the most work done on a personal level because I was very complaining, always victimizing myself. That was a very negative part of my character. But I think we've all come to appreciate life a lot more, and we do not worry about the stuff in life you shouldn't worry about. So we all became a lot nicer in the end. I think we all became parents the past 4 years. I think that helps a lot as well. So I don't want to put everything on what we've been through, but I think if you see people getting shot right next to you at a very early age, it does something. I always say we created like a bullshit filter. We don't worry about bullshit in life anymore. Only the things that really matter. I think we've all lived our lives that way.
I like that with the best.
Bullshit filter. We all need one.
Yeah, absolutely. Other questions?
I was just thinking some of us have a more strict filter than others.
Yeah, that's true.
Ferry, what motivates you to keep doing something like this with a Rotary group? What is inside of you that is seeking to keep pushing this out in ways that I think a lot of people lose the interest? Why is the interest, you believe, for you staying at such a high conviction to show up and talk to us today?
I started doing this pretty shortly after the attack in Holland. I was invited at a police force to share my story, something that doesn't come very natural to me, talking in front of groups. And I, at the time, thought this is a one-time thing. I remember I was so nervous to talk in front of groups. I mean, a lot of people get nervous in front of groups, and I was up there as well. So this one-time experience, I noticed that people in the crowd really took away a lot from my story, that they could help in their lives to become more resilient. And it evolved from that, and suddenly it became my full profession. And still a big dream of mine is to ever make it in the United States. So I'm just, every time I visit the United States, I would, try to reach out to schools or law enforcement or Rotary clubs, just to, on a voluntary base, share my story, just without any expectations, but just to plant seeds every now and there. And of course, I'm not going to lie, I hope that someday these seeds will grow into something bigger. But for now, I just like to, it helps me to improve my English, to get to know the American audience. That's very different from Europe, the European audience. So small steps, but I'm having big dreams as well.
Good. Excellent. Other questions?
Not really a question, Perry, just more kind of an acknowledgement, whether it's this terrible incident or Uvalde recently or 9/11, it's very easy and understandable to think about those people that we actually lost. And very rarely, I think, do we think about the survivors who are dealing with their own wounds, as you discussed, more emotional, mental. And I can't imagine, obviously, what you've been through, but the fact that you have turned it into this type of positive thing in your life now is just amazing to me. And I just want to commend you and thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you. And don't forget the family, even of attackers, right? They didn't choose the life path that, their child or family member chose. It's sometimes harder on them than you would think. Even meeting the family of one of the attackers made me feel like they were having a harder time than I was having. And they weren't at the initial attack. It's also a side of the story that people need to hear, I think.
I can only imagine I can only imagine the guilt the father feels.
Right? Yeah.
And and quite frankly, your story of surviving is fabulous, but your story of going out and meeting the father of one of the terrorists, to me, is one of the most remarkable things I've ever heard.
Well, I'm actually thankful it crossed my path because it was a chance that was offered to me. Like, do you want to meet? He was a guest on a talk show in Holland, and people who produced the program asked me if I wanted to meet him. I was like, wow, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity that I'm not going to say no to. So it was something that was offered to me as well. Very thankful for.
Excellent. Well, other questions before we, again, thank you so much for your presentation. I hope that you're enjoying your stay and it's become fruitful for you here in the United States.
I'm going to a rock show tonight.
Where are you going?
I'm going to August Burns Red, and you guys would hate it, trust me. It's San Diego.
Well, you're about halfway there from where we are if you're down in Hammond. So you have a great time. And again, I sincerely appreciate all of you to be in to just to come here and talk to us. Did you want to talk to him real quick, Casey, make that invite in verbally?
I'm happy to. Hey, Ferry, every Thursday at 4 o'clock, I do a live, it's like a Facebook Live, but we kind of do it as a show. Tomorrow, we're talking about transforming our commitment. It's just our commitment to stick to something, even when we have opposition and difficulty. You are more than welcome to, it's a live show. If you go to Arc Path, click on it, jump in. I can send you a link if you want to do a video conference call. Just, it's what I do. I share stories, share hope. Love to bring you into my circle.
I will send you both cross emails so that you have each other's email and you can work that out. And Ferry, I think that you'll find Casey an excellent resource for you to move into a different circle of people who are looking for exactly what you're talking about.
Awesome.